Just the finals of the finals. All right, folks. Sorry about that. Hopefully we're back. Did knight b8 close the whole thing down? Was that the moment that it closed?
Okay. Yeah, Ringao showed that he blundered this bishop c4 thing. Yes, it was too short from knight b8. Yeah.
Yeah, just knight b8. No, we're done. Closing down.
Okay. Now you need to come up with some solution, which is pretty tough.
Yeah, knight c7, controlling the light squares.
Okay, at least we did it fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so if rook f1, black probably has d5, right?
Yeah.
Seems to be fine. Okay.
I don't know about fine.
I mean, not checkmated.
Not checkmated, yeah. Yeah, not checkmated. By that definition,
so,
yeah. Very
bishop
fine.
f7, king f7, rook f1. Okay, no way he's gonna do king e6, unfortunately.
Why not king g8 then?
Yeah, so he's probably gonna do king g8. Yeah. Knight f5.
I think Dripman's gonna play rook f1 here anyway, by the way.
There is some chance. Okay, so rook f1, d5. Okay.
Yeah, rook f1, d5, pawn takes d5, and then you probably need to play bishop d6 for black there. Probably?
Yeah, for sure. He will do bishop d6, I think.
Yeah.
That's a sad blunder.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Are there any other games?
There is one other game. Yes, your other student is playing too. If you want to check in on him, Dai has...
Super yeah. Eric always tries to sacrifice exchange. Yeah, actually. On one of our lessons, he tried to do it in every game. So maybe it's just some kind of trick.
Wow. And Dai has sacrificed a rook.
I mean, that's what we do.
He's going all in. Hopefully he sees that the bishop is covering h3.
I'm not sure how seeing it gonna help him.
Okay.
Okay, he can do one more check queen z3.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he did it.
Yeah, and then he's got queen d2.
Okay, we will see.
That's a perpetual. No,
what?
King g2, and then queen f2. Okay. It's almost a perpetual.
Almost.
Oh, Maestro found it.
Why do you think he found it? He just did king g2.
I think he found it because if he hadn't, he would have probably played king f2 to keep his king closer to the rook.
No.
No? No, okay.
I mean, he probably found it anyway, yeah. But...
Maestro's working hard.
I think he just
plays queen f2 instantly.
Okay, he found it. Okay, you were right.
Yeah. It's rare for him to play a move in 1 second. That means he really found it. And I was wrong about Dripman though. He took on f7 while he could, then played rook f1, knight f5. That was probably much better.
Yeah, I mean he played the right stuff. Yeah. Hard to not take a rook.
Yeah. Now rook e8 to e7 here would probably be pretty precise.
I think white has got a lot of opportunities here.
Right. Yeah, more than one option. I agree with that.
They also have 2 extra pieces.
Queen e4. Okay. White's thinking a while about taking it. Do you think he's going to flag this game, Sasha? Do you think White's going to flag? He doesn't take it! He didn't pick the
queen! I don't know, maybe, maybe he's just kind to his opponent. Maybe he decided it's a mouse sleep and he's being nice.
That's true. He is an extremely nice person. He is one of the nicest people you will ever meet.
Yeah, you see, he's just a good guy. And now queen's exchange. Wow, bishop it. Okay, that's a nice try.
Yeah, that is a nice try.
Wait. Okay, if white doesn't... Okay, no. Wait,
I guess the king is going to be able to get back away, huh?
Yeah.
So the question is really still, will he flag?
Oh my god. Okay, he found this one.
And he's on the board is Maestro. Bravo.
Oh, look how happy he is.
Bravo. Pulled it off. That was hard work. That was hard work. Congratulations to both Maestro and Dai and X, who both came in the last 2 weeks of the season. Only got a couple lessons, had to put in a lot of work really quickly, and face an uphill challenge in this finals tournament against players who'd been training really hard for 10 weeks. So bravo from them. Great performance. See how our battle for third place is going. Drittman brings the knight to d6. He thinks over a minute and decides it's time to pick that pawn. Does Rengao have anything here?
Queen a8.
Queen back to a8. Looking at that e4 pawn, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have make any sense, but maybe some chance. But after queen a8, it's just like rook f8. And I think that's checkmate.
Oh, so you think Drittman's threat is rook f8 and then queen f2?
I believe so. I'm not sure if he sees it right now, but I think he's gonna see it after queen a8.
Yeah.
I have no idea what black can do here.
Yeah, it's a
maybe
tense
some
position,
kind of knight e6.
But those knights are just not that good. I feel like you just have to move the knight to c6. Like bring it towards the game. Hope your opponent doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean knight e6 at least pretend. Okay, is it checkmate after rook f8 right now?
No, yes, but it wins your queen.
Oh yeah. I mean checkmate queen. Yeah. There is checkmate as well, probably.
There's checkmate as well?
I'm not sure, maybe. Yeah, there is checkmate. I think.
Oh yes. Yeah.
And actually, I just calculated I just calculated some probably false line, but in my line, black's king was on d1 in the end of line.
What's at the end of the line?
On d1.
The black king on d1? That's a long variation. That's at least 8 moves.
Yeah, and he runs there from h5 somehow.
What? Wow. Wow. You're on some wild calculating
stuff. Yeah, it's actually correct line, yeah.
Okay, you want to show us how the king gets there?
Yeah, okay. Rook f8, king f8, queen f2, king e7, queen f7, king d8.
This is how far I got. All right, keep
queen
going.
f8.
Yeah.
Queen f8. King d7.
Oh, you went to c8, didn't you?
Queen c8, yeah.
Wow.
King e7.
Yeah.
Knight f5.
Nice.
King f7.
Yeah.
Queen d7.
Okay, rook d7 might be good too.
Queen no, queen d7. We go for queen d7, please.
Okay.
King g6.
Yeah, I'll do whatever you say.
Queen g7.
Yeah.
King h5.
Yeah.
Queen h6.
Yeah.
King g4. Queen h4. King f3.
Yeah.
Queen g3. Queen g3. King e2.
Okay.
No, please.
No,
I could do rook f1. I could do rook f1 then. Yeah. King f4 knight e6 is working. Yeah. King e2. Queen f2. Queen f2.
Oh my god.
Queen f2 instead of rook d2. It looks cuter.
Unbelievable. Queen f1's
King
better
d1
than
and queen
d2.
z2. Oh, queen d2 is
You
much,
calculated that in
beautiful.
7 seconds while talking to other people?
It was queen d2. It was queen d2. Okay, it wasn't queen f1.
Okay. Sorry. I'll put her on d2. Whatever you say, Sasha. What? Okay. Well, yeah. Well, we're all everybody here is speechless except for you. What the heck?
I hope Ringa's opponent not gonna find it.
Rook f8's been played. Queen f2's been played. Here. Knight b7, knight a5. That's what I saw. Okay, so we can compare our brains right there. Yeah, Drittman's playing what I had looked at.
Oh, it's hard to look at it.
By the way, given that these players are not GMs, props to Drittman for finding Rook f8, Queen f2. This was a very good calculation for this level, and this is a big strength of Drittman's.
Yeah,
relative to the other,
queen, you just take queen.
Yeah, relative to the other players in this group, he's very good at finding the 1600 version of Sasha's calculations. The 1600 versions of a long, aggressive, forced line.
Okay, that was a good match.
That was a great match between those two. Bravo to them both. And that is the end of Ultimate Sensei Season 2. Wow. That match was crazy. That was a close match. Those two just fought. My goodness.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Who won?
Yeah. Yeah, every single game intense. They each had to fight out of some bad positions. Whew. Bravo.
David, who won student and who won coach?
All right, so Falk won the match against Chess Numbers. And the first place coach would then be his team, Team Kostya. Second place team is Team Matt. And the third place team is going to be Team Andras, off of Morphe fans' win in the 3rd to 6th place match. And the 4th place team will be Sasha's team. Yeah. There's a graphic below the format. Is there something I should be going to, Mitch, that would show it better? There is. The final matches. All right, he's got the exact numbers for us all. First place, Falk with 8 points. Second place, Chess Numbers with 7. Nargave and Drittman with 5.5 each. Seth and Renga with 3.5 each. The End X with 2. And Chess Maestro with 1. For team totals of 13.5 for Kostya, 10.5 for Matt. Oh, that's right. Kostya had 1 off of Falk's win and then got 2 more points there from Drittman. 13.5 points for Kostya, 10.5 for Matt, 6.5 for Andras, and 5.5 for Sasha's team. There is also challenge money on top of this, so we don't yet have the exact table here of all the money that they've won along the season to add to this. I had it somewhere up here. I had how much money had been won along the way. These team prizes here of 250, 350, 800, and 400. So we can add those in here if we want. We know that Team Matt is going to get another 800 from the challenges. We know that Team Sasha is going to get another 400 from the challenges. And Team Andras with 250. And Team Kostya with another 350. Mitch has done a lot of work, so I will leave it to all of you. Why doesn't it show up here? Who knows? It's weird. Oh, I just need to scroll down. There it is. Oh, Mitch has done a lot of work. I'll let you all add this up in your heads. You've just seen Sasha calculate a 17 move variation in 7 seconds, so you can certainly add 2 numbers, all of you. It's very important to put in the work, everybody. If you want to be good, you got to do the work. these 4 coaches and 8 players have done that over these 10 weeks. So congrats to all of them. To the players, I hope that you all have, plans of continuing to improve. I hope that this wasn't the final stop in these finals here, but that this whole experience was inspiring towards continuing to work beyond here. And the rating range for the next season is expected to be 1,000 to 1,200 OTB equivalent, which is like maybe 1075 to 1275 chess.com rapid, maybe like 1,600 on Lee Chess, and lower on FIDE. Oh, sorry, lower on USCF as well, like 925 to 1125 USCF maybe. No, 975. I'm talking nonsense now. 900 to 1100 FIDE. I'm not going to get that straight, so we're going to move on. I'm all talked out, I guess. Sorry about that, everybody. Sasha, do we want to talk to the players for a minute before we wind down the show? They've stuck around. That probably means they've got something they want to tell their fans.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So
I believe you have some chance that Nergaev will be in time with his kid.
Right. If we stretch this out, we might get to see his kid. We can applaud his kid. Rangao can thank his kid in person for the crushing exhibition match victory assist. All right. I'll let you throw a question at some of the players, and I will grab some water.
Okay. So who's the winner here? Can you do like this? Okay.
Well, you.
Seems like we need to hear from the winners.
It's kind of funny because they showed the different people. Okay. So, what do you think about your final match? Okay, David is here back. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
I was
but I asked
nervous,
about
so
final match, like how hard.
How
it
they
was,
feel about the
actually.
final match? Yeah.
I was super nervous and I blundered on move 2 in my first game. So that's
Okay.
But yeah,
What
he
do
didn't
you
take
think?
advantage.
You wondered on move 2, and here I just thought you were super ready for my.
No, I was so nervous. I was like messing it up already.
What you call a blunder threw me. I didn't want to play that line, and I had to go back into it because I didn't know anything against knight c6.
Okay, that's
What
good.
was the wonder for those who didn't see?
So
So was it
yeah.
about luck
whoa.
or about chess mostly?
Sorry?
I don't know.
Like tournament itself, like final tournament, like what do you think? How big part was about luck and how big part was about like chess?
I think less luck for sure.
Yeah,
It's a lot more pleasant playing people that are trying like this than online rated ELO stuff. It's different. Yeah, the first day was, well, y'all saw, terrible for me. It took getting used to. I was just not. I was flustered. It's definitely an experience. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I think even more so this day than yesterday, there's something about a 4-game match. It's like you're seeing them play, your opponent play white and black a second time. It really starts feeling more like a match. Yesterday, like felt still a little exhibition-y, or like, oh, we'll play a white and a black. But once you start hitting 4 games, you really kind of get into the head of how the other person's playing, and you can kind of prep for the second half of it a bit to try to throw a curveball in. So yeah, the 4-game was like a very new type of playing chess for me, a 4-game match, and I actually really enjoyed it. Even more so than like a 4-game Swiss or something.
I can agree with that for sure. It was not that it worked out for me, but it was really interesting going into that last must-win game to be in a position where like, okay, so I'm going to have to play against this Trompowski again, because I know he already beat me with it once. Now I have to figure out a different approach of some kind. So that was definitely a twist. because it was a 4-game match that is different from any high stakes chess game I've ever played before.
Yeah, we ran the Dojo Club Championships as a series of matches, 3 rounds of matches, and those the quarterfinals were 4 games, semifinals 6 games, finals 8 games. I'm sure some of you saw some of those matches. And the participants in those matches were like, wow, this was like a whole new experience for my chess. And a lot of them like felt like they improved a lot over that month and a half between preparing for the matches, playing the matches, just made them like work on chess or look at chess in a different way.
Yeah, I think that did happen to me. So, yeah.
Yeah, this was my first time playing matches like this. And so I got to like get that experience of getting like smashed by some opening prep, and
But just like the real competitive nature of everyone too. You don't really feel that casual, You're like, damn, this guy is not giving up, man.
And I think it does it exposes a bit
it's like, geez.
of a weakness I have in the opening with just a lack of versatility, probably.
Yeah,
ability to change it up.
Like 8 weeks to prepare for you, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. And I just figured I'd just stick with what I was comfortable with. That was giving me my best chance, but
I mean, Seth, me and you are probably the 2 least versatile opening players here.
Right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting going in, being like, especially yesterday when Kostya had me prep that Italian, which I played like a little back when I was rated 1200, but not with the knight F1 line that he showed me. So went really well in the first round though. So I guess it's like, it's still possible even on short notice to play something different, but it does kind of take a bit of a leap of faith.
Right. That's what I did that finally today. I played,
nice.
I've never played the Slav in my life, and I played at both games against Lars, and I had great positions with black both games. So, and I was like, oh man, this is going to go bad because like, I'll know the first few moves, but he's going to have so much more experience than me. But
yeah, the middle game understanding is the one thing that's tough.
I was kind of happy to go to 5 games there because like the first game in the Dragon, you didn't, I think, know your moves. I messed that up too pretty good, but then the second game, like you studied over the break, and I've lost in that like exact fashion before, and like I forgot how black is okay in that line. So I just like totally forgot, and then I'm like, well, let's try the Night Orf. So then I think we got a theoretical position.
I think if you play Queen A8 instead of Queen A5, you actually have a repetition.
Yeah, Queen A8 was a good move.
I was unsure about Queen A8, Queen A5.
And I think the only reason it's a repetition is because you can exchange sack for my bishop on C1 because I took the F pawn. And I think if I want to play for a win, I actually have to go a pawn down. Like what I think I figured
like
out.
Not take on F7?
Yeah. Because he can essentially exchange sack bishop on C1, and then I can't ever block the check after like Queen C1, Queen A1, and then like the queen can check over on the C file and back and forth, kind of. I think. I didn't look at an engine, but I think it's a forced repetition.
Yeah, I didn't know, and I was out of theory after you played.
You could block with queen, no?
After you took.
No, so in this line, take on F7. I'm just watching the stream right now and like play through the game, and play Queen A8 instead of Queen A5.
It's a stream. Yeah, I was unsure about that.
Yeah, Queen A8 was much better.
Queen A8, and then I have to play
it.
Knight G3 because I want to be able to block checks after I go to the C file with Bishop C4.
Oh,
but here you can play Rook takes F1, Rook takes F1. Rook A1, King C2, Queen C8, King D3, and then Queen B5 is a repetition.
Yeah, I've seen this line before.
Very nice.
I calculated some crazy
line?
lines as well.
Yeah, so I think I have to actually pawn sack and not take on F7.
Wow. Good calculation, Dremin.
One move too late, but thank you. I was like, I wonder what the difference between taking and not taking on F7 is, and I was like, might as well take the pawn. And then I kind of figured out what the issue was.
I mean, one big difference is black might not be able to take on A2 because you're threatening to take the knight, so they might So you might get a totally different position where they don't get your A pawn.
Yeah.
King was hiding on d3.
Yeah. But good job backing up my claim that you can calculate long lines.
And for once, I did it for my opponent.
Yeah, and for your opponent too. That's good. That's good. Looking for moves for your opponent. That's what you're working on, huh? Yeah. Nice. Okay. Is there any student here who feels like they were able to specifically improve on something because of something their coach gave to them over these weeks, something that you wouldn't have been able to do on your own or wouldn't have thought of doing?
I mean, I know but it's not gonna be anything extravagant. I think she just exemplified mainly for me the importance of identifying what your bad pieces are and what their good pieces are, and make those exchanges or not. Mm-hmm. I mean, that gets I think exchanges are crazy complicated. Yeah. Like there's so many things that can get involved with an exchange, Yeah. So she said something to me in that last lesson that really, every time I go for an exchange, I sit there and I take a step back and really evaluate how valuable that piece is in that moment. And then that just leads to other ideas. And that just, to me, that was something I knew, but a good coach will make you, make it stick. Because you know all this information, but you don't apply it on the board. You think you are, but there's something about getting it really clear to where I'm like, oh, dang, that is true. You don't want to do that, and then you never do it again. So, yeah, I think so. And calculations, of course, I'm working on it.
I'd say the one chess, the chess stuff is always hard to get better at, the on the board stuff. And one thing I need to get better at is still finding my opponent's resources in a position, especially when I'm better or winning that they have counterplay. Mm-hmm. And Kostya did a good job identifying at that, but it's only 8 weeks and it's going to be a long slog of me getting better at that. But I do think I got better at not tilting over the course of this competition. Mm-hmm. For instance, it was a crazy time scrabble, but I probably missed a mate in the first game.
I know I missed a mate.
Eric, and then I lost because I, again, didn't want to just take a repetition.
Yeah.
And then the last game, I was down a piece.
Yeah.
And I needed to win the game.
I blundered it back. So what? I said, I blundered it back. You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's all very friendly here.
That. I do think I got better at not tilting and kind of, staying with it.
That's something I need to get work on too.
Yeah, I was baffled when I thought you dropped the piece, and then I did such a rookie mistake. I didn't even know, I had to scroll back a few moves to be wait, materials even now? What?
Right, you're where is my piece? I don't even remember when he took it.
If I take the other way without trading queens, I hang my queen.
Yeah, because my bishop was loose or something. But I was just I've seen my friend who's much lower rated do that type of thing, go backwards, where? Right. I'm I just all been there.
And you're I always know where my pieces are. I would notice if somebody took one. And then
I might have done a backward scroll to figure out what happened once during today's games also.
Uh-huh.
Might have.
Yeah. All right. So, you guys are taking off, but you've got your peak performance, and you've also still got some of the trailing weaknesses that you've mostly cleaned up, but will pop up now and then in a rare occasion.
I'd say there's two things I would highlight that I learned. One of them I don't know that I was able to demonstrate too well. We did a lot of strategic work because obviously I'm a super often over aggressive attacking player who has always badly neglected strategy in my chess study in my career, and Matt worked with me a ton on that. I definitely learned a ton. It might take more than 9 weeks for that to really make its way into my game. That's the kind of more long-term study, but definitely a lot of learning. I need more practice before I'll really be applying it correctly. But the other really big thing as an attacking player that he did a great job of emphasizing for me on quite a few occasions was that when you're attacking, you still don't have to make every single move be super completely aggressive. There's room for those quiet moves to build so that the attack can actually land, which I would like to think I demonstrated that quite well in my first game today before falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe could have remembered that more in games 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah. That first game was, maybe the best game we've seen in these finals. So yeah, you really did put it all together in that attack. Yeah.
Can we look at Kit before we finish?
Okay.
I feel like he there tried to show us some blanket and
yeah, no, he was trying to get me. He's behind me right now, actually.
Sasha, did you see when I was playing Lars like a week ago or whatever?
Oh.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
If you want to see more of the kid,
so.
if you want to see more of the kid, we just need Lars and Drittman to play a $100 blitz match right now. 6 games, $100, and I'm sure the kid will come right back with that blanket.
Over the head.
Yeah. Oh man. Like, it's funny because when that happened, it's like I know the amount of work that he had to do to put that blanket on my head. So I'm like sitting at the kitchen table here. So he was like grabbed it off the couch, ran over here. He had to climb up a chair, then pull the blanket up onto the chair, and then he was throwing it onto my head. So like, it was something he was very determined to do at this time.
Commitment, and effort is crucial at every stage.
He's a GM of annoying me sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come up here, buddy. So anyway, he doesn't want to be on camera now.
That's right.
Yeah, but I do want to say, because I was listening in, like, I had it on like the Bluetooth in my car, so I was listening to the stream, and yeah, Seth, like the Slav actually surprised me. I looked at what you had played, and I didn't expect you to play the Slav. And then you also picked a line that I haven't really studied that much, and I haven't really. And every time I've played it, I've gotten positions I was unhappy with. When you put the queen on c7 there, so
yeah,
and that was actually why in the second game I just played Exchange Slav. So
tip of the cap to the Maestro there. I actually took that one from him. He played that too and got a really good
and
position.
actually that was a line Andrus recommended to him against me. So yeah, by checking his games.
So Matt went through and he's like, well, he's like, we're talking about what we should play, and I'm like, are they gonna just like, I put a million Tarash defenses in my opening tree, and I was like, are they gonna poke a hole in it? He's like, well, I don't know, and I don't really have to. So you can try it, you can stick with that, you can try this queen game it declined, or there's this game Maestro played against him where the Slav went pretty well
from their own training on their own team.
Yeah, and actually, like, the funny thing is I was debating whether I should look at any Slav lines last night, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna win with the black pieces, because like I knew you would come in like super prepped with the Rogozin, and like I used to play the King's Indian all the time, so it was just a matter of like it was just a matter of just like prepping the King's Indian.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Because like, well, I don't know. I figured I didn't realize you had been a King's Indian player in the past, because I was like, okay, if he goes into King's Indian, at least he might have prepped something for me, but he's hopefully treading into unfamiliar territory. But he just smashed me twice. That was unfortunate.
Okay, here's a question for all of you, and we can do like a show of hands. How many of you prepared openings specifically for these finals matches for more than 2 hours? Okay, 3 people for sure and 2 people maybe.
I feel like I'm always studying
I'm gonna add that
openings.
none of it ended up on the board.
None of it ended up on the board, sure.
I think like 20 hours or so.
And nothing specific though.
Like, I'm not even joking. Like depending on how you look at it.
20 hours since yesterday? You said
no, I mean since when we started. Like, I mean,
I started prepping specifically for Falk weeks ago.
Weeks ago.
It's
Yeah,
impossible
I mean,
to prep
also-
Falk because he plays
Played
literally
next
everything.
match, because I had prep for him that I didn't want to show in case I saw him in the finals,
Mm-hmm.
and then he dodged it with his prep. None of it ended up on the board today.
Wow.
If you had brought the Roy Lopez like you've played against me in the past, I was gonna play the Danish Gambit.
Oh, okay, that's actually a good choice. Like I've never faced it, I think, but yeah.
I knew about Ty's super secret Falk prep, and I'm kind of not surprised. I went after my match with Falk yesterday. I'm like, because I saw Falk's like chest-based files on all of them. Like, it's probably not gonna happen. But at least he's, at least they'll both be out, and then that'll be fine.
Yeah, walking into Falk's chest-based files is like not a good place to be. Just as a heads up.
Falk, Sam Shankland Harrison.
I looked at what other people played, and I didn't really like come up with anything brand spanking new that I haven't played. But I just kind of saw what lines other people played, so I would have some sense of familiarity. Like I knew which Roy Lopez that Driven played.
Right.
Some people still surprised me though.
So you didn't try to like memorize a bunch of extra GM moves, but you said like, okay, these are kind of the openings that they play, and then you like checked in with Sasha, like, Dragon, Night Orf, something, and so you had some thought about what you wanted to do.
Looked at GM games and looked at like some ideas like in this structure, or like what are some plans in this type of position type of stuff.
Yeah, for the finals prep for me, it was kind of tough because Ringaw's account isn't his real account. He just plays dojo tournaments on that, and all of his game history is in some like secret account, and like all of my games are just on my account. So instead of like prepping for him, so I knew he played the Roy Lopez as white.
It says I played the King's Gambit, that's for sure.
Well, so you kind of let slip that you play the Roy, because in our exhibition match, after you played something that you normally don't play and got crushed, you were like, oh, I should have just played the Roy like normal. And I was like, oh, interesting.
Useful.
I didn't mind.
So what me and Kostia did, instead of like trying to guess exactly what he'd play, is like make sure that I know all the little sidelines of the stuff I play, and like aren't gonna get caught too off guard if he tries to throw a curveball. Because like I'm pretty comfortable with my repertoire. Like I'm not looking for something totally new. But yeah, it was super helpful just to make sure that I wasn't gonna be like caught off guard by some weird line.
Yeah, it's not really in my nature to like want to try to do that either. Like I like playing the main lines. I spent so many years not playing the main lines. I like playing the rich positions.
Yeah.
I mean, for me it was a bit upsetting because like after the draft tournament, I like looked up what everyone was playing, and I created like quick starters for everything, and then like 3 people dropped out, and I wasted like 6 hours of prep. But yeah, in the end, it didn't work out because
you started the prep super early.
Yeah, it's what I did. I mean, I created those opening files for everyone, and then I put it on Chessable to just repeat them over and over. And then I picked like 10 master games from each variation, and then I just studied them over the 2 months. So I will be familiar with the variations I play.
Falk, let me ask you a question. Like in the first week, you were picked first in the draft, and then Mitch and I ranked you really high in the power rankings as far as, and we both said, I think that we would have drafted you first, if we'd been watching that draft tournament. And then you didn't win any of the intermediate competitions. You were clearly preparing really hard the whole time. How was your confidence over the course of the season? Like, did you ever say like, oh man, I should have won the endgame tournament or anything like that?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like before the Ultimate Sensei started, like I didn't even know the opposition rules, right? So, my endgame stuff was very basic, I guess. And I mean, I did put a lot of work into it. And I think if we had like more complex endings, I would have been like a lot better there. But I didn't practice King and Pawn endings, so was a bit unlucky that those showed up. But I mean, I also went through like 100 pages of like Cheryshev, and like I did all the Silmans up to 1800 in the endgame course. So I mean, I did put a lot of work into endgames. And the same for tactics. Like I didn't really do tactics all that much up until Ultimate Sensei, and then it was like the first challenge. And to get good at tactics in like 2 weeks, it's not going to happen. Yeah, like I still did like an hour every day, but just wasn't enough.
Here's what I'd say is the thing about Falk. He's a very well-rounded player, and because of that, he's great in a match and overall games. But I can see how, like in any one component, there's someone who's going to be somewhat better. So I'm actually not surprised that this is the way it kind of ended up.
Jack of all trades, master of none, but that makes him real hard to play against.
So then how was your confidence, Falk, going into the finals yesterday? And
I was not scared about Eric, but it was like he was the one opponent I just didn't want to face because I don't know what he plays, right? He just plays on another account, so I couldn't check. So we kind of had to guess a bit, and it worked out in the end because I got the Knight of I prep for, and he didn't expect 1c4, I guess, because I don't really play it. So I guess that worked out for me. And yeah, other than that, I never lost confidence because I knew I was good at playing chess and not, I mean, for our level, like instead of like, I might not be good at endgames or tactics, but I mean, I'm still okay at playing chess, I guess.
Okay, the Magnus answer.
Lose confidence.
That's the Magnus answer, right? What advantage do you think you have in the match against Nepo? He was asked, right? Well, like my main advantage is I'm better at playing chess.
I mean, it's not like that, but just.
Like that. Falk's just too nice.
It sounded a bit like it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I think I could speak to this. I've played Falk 7 times this season. Draft tournament, exhibition match, and the final.
Yeah.
And I could definitely say Falk is an extremely difficult player to face. If I had to pick, if I, had to play one more game right now for some additional prize money, I would gladly play it against anyone but Falk.
Okay. You would not choose
there are
the
other
champion.
great players in this field too. I mean, everyone's tough, but the balance is really hard to deal with. It just feels like you could beat me in a lot of different ways, and that makes games against you tense in a different way, and it throws me off, I can say for sure.
Yeah.
So
I felt like in our match that Falk like flexed sort of his just like deep general knowledge, just like he let me, like he got good positions out of the opening, then he kind of let me off the mat, but I had to spend a little bit, but then like I had to spend so much more time like trying to figure it out. And like, so he was just playing like reasonable moves. He like understood the positions, even if he wasn't finding the best moves. I was able to work my way in a little bit, but then I was just hopeless at the end. It was like 1 minute to 8 or whatever, and so it was like, yeah. So even with like, even with like maybe some things he could clean up, tactics or whatever, to beat like players better than me, he'll get there. But like I think just on our level, his overall like knowledge, just general chess knowledge, I think really showed through.
Yeah, I mean the one chance that I feel I have against you, Falk, is to just try to drag you into complications where there's some hope you might go wrong. But even there, you're still so principled that it doesn't work that well. I basically tried it every time we played, and I got it to work once out of 7 tries.
Yeah.
And you gave me a rook at the draft, but that wasn't really anything.
Yeah, I totally missed that the bishop could take the rook in the end. But yeah.
But I mean, Fabi drops rooks too, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So far in this
Thinking that
conversation,
today.
we've compared Falk to Shanklin, Fabi, and Magnus.
Yeah, it's going really well right now.
So Falk,
Just
you're about
missing
1,000.
1,000
We're
points.
all expecting another 1,000 elo out of you.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly.
Yeah, I would peg Falk as the favorite in the race to 2,000 out of this group, which I think is sort of a good target improvement goal for all of us in the long run.
Absolutely.
Assuming you get a chance to play enough over the board. I mean, if one person plays a lot more games,
a great thing to shoot for all of you next.
That was my goal before this competition, and it feels more achievable now with the work I got to do with Matt than it ever did before. It used to be like an intentional long shot goal that I probably wouldn't be able to achieve, but it gave me something to work on, and now I kind of feel like maybe I can get there.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, we're going to wrap up our season here. Sasha, I've got a last question for you, the sensei. What are you focused on right now in your career moving forward? Are you working on coaching or playing or both or streaming? What's the focus of your chess life?
I stopped playing OTB after COVID started for some time. So, and right now I'm trying to get back to working on my chess. That's why I started streaming. Because it was too boring to do myself, and I never worked on chess myself. So, and now I play some chess games.
Wait, how did you get to to be such a strong master without ever working on your chess?
I worked with coach.
With a coach, okay. So you've never worked just by yourself.
Yeah, but never.
You've always
by
worked
myself.
with others. Okay.
Yeah. So and now I'm mostly coaching and trying to get back to working on my chess. So.
Do you so you do training for yourself on your stream? Like you do stuff that's hard for you?
I gonna start it from next week actually.
Okay.
Now before that I was just playing, and now I'm like gonna try to get better and maybe
Okay, cool. Well, folks, here's the link again for following Sasha Slow Dumb on Twitch, so you can check out what some really serious training looks like. I hear Sasha
so
that you
serious.
were pretty serious with your students, so I'm assuming you're going to be serious with yourself too.
No more
No
Counter-Strike.
No more Counter-Strike, says Eric.
No. It's not so serious.
Not as serious as to cut Counter-Strike from your regimen.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for what you've done for Di and Eric, and
Thank you. You're the best.
thank you to all the participants for great effort and great camaraderie over the course of the season. It's really fun to see you all giving each other like encouragement and chatting about the events with each other when each event wraps up. People watching on stream don't know this, but you know, when we stop the OBS feed, these guys don't stop. They're still like discussing their games with each other here in my room for hours sometimes. So they've got a great attitude, and it was on display throughout. So thank you everybody for all your work. I hope you all continue to work with each other, because I think it's really helpful to have a cohort like that pushing each other up together. And it's been great. Anybody who wants to see Ultimate Sensei Season 3, send in a donation and let us know that it's for the prize fund for Season 3. That'll help us to try to attract some incredible coaches like Sasha, like Andras, like Matt. And we'll see you later. I think as far as today, the scrubs will be on at 3 o'clock in an hour or so. Seth, you maybe want to confirm that?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
That's your understanding
More
too.
of me, yeah.
All right. So you can come back to the dojo in an hour, folks, to catch our next show. In the meantime, we will raid somebody. Sasha, you're not
going to raid Amaranth yesterday, I believe.
Amaranth.
Right. That's right.
Okay.
And thank you, David, for all your
No, it's right. It's wrong. Cancel.
It's wrong?
Cancel.
Sorry.
Yes.
Is that not?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Is that not the
Somebody
ancient grain?
Chat, please type how to do it right, okay? Wait a second.
What am I supposed to do?
I will tell you nickname.
Send to chess person, David.
What's that,
Yeah.
Eric?
I
Chess
typed the
person?
name. Oh wait, I typed it wrong. Check self-destroyer's message. Copy what she did. Yeah.
Self-destroyer.
Yeah. Hero tried.
I thought you were gonna Google that, David.
I didn't have a chance.
Don't
When
worry,
when I do a bunch of streaming like I did this weekend, then like as soon as I'm off stream, I have to like run to the kids, right? And like relieve.
His wife and kids need to be out of the house before he Googles that.
Yeah, that's actually like there is Zviad Grandmaster, and he says it's his wife, so sometimes.
Amaranth is a grandmaster?
No.
Oh
There
yeah,
is,
she's
Zviad,
she's highly rated.
Yeah, you can ask him. He will confirm. So yeah.
All right, we'll stop our stream here.